Hey, 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 everybody. All right. Looks like we're live. Hello, hello. It's good to see you guys. Happy Monday. Hello, everybody. I see all your comments in the chat already. We are already starting off strong. So while everybody else joins us, we're going to go ahead and get a quick start. I'm going to jump right in after just a quick introduction because I am at the horse sanctuary for the next couple of days. And while I'm here, there are evening chores to do. So, yeah. So for those of you catching me for the first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, animal chaplain, animal medium, and part-time farm sitter. So here I'm at the horse sanctuary and we've got some chores to do tonight. I am in Florida and I'm normally, boy, I'll tell you, my time zones are all over the place. I set up this live stream when I lived in Colorado. Then I moved gradually east and a little bit further east. So now it's 8 o'clock at night here. And this girl's about to turn into a pumpkin. But here, let me just fix this a little bit. But anywho, this is the channel, you guys, for anybody who is experiencing grief, guilt after the loss of an animal companion. This is the channel for you. We are a community dedicated to supporting each other through the loss of our animal companions. And we do all kinds of topics on these videos. Tonight, I'm just going to warn you in advance, we're probably going to go deep down the rabbit hole. We're going to go way down there. I put out a call for questions earlier today in the community tab. I think they call it post now, not community, whatever. These things are always changing. But I put out a call for questions. Any question that you would want to ask your animal companion, because they want us to be living our best life. I say that a lot. I say it a lot, often. What does it mean? What does that mean? What are we supposed to do? So those are the kinds of questions. And you guys came up with some great questions, not only about how to discover what our purpose is and how to live our best life, but we have some really cool metaphysical questions going on. Like, how do I really step into my best life? Like, what if my best life is part of the multiverse and I want to pull it into me now? Those are the kinds of questions we're going to talk about tonight, including angels and ancestors. The questions that came up are amazing. So I can't wait to share with you guys. For those of you watching for the very first time, every Monday we go live at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is where I am. And we try to cover topics that not only offer you advice, but some guidance and some support and comfort, knowing that we've all been through this same journey together or similar journey together. And then we always add in a dash of woo. We've got some hairy fairy stuff that we love to talk about. So we're going to get right to that as soon as I say hello to everybody. So usually the first 7 to 10 minutes, but today I'm going to try to keep it to 5 because I've still got chores to do on the farm this evening. So let's say hello to everybody. Pat, good to see you. You came up with some great questions I can't wait to answer. Kali, also some good questions. Cheryl, good to see you. Sharon, awesome. Good to see you. Who else do I have here? Sherry. I always want to say Cheryl and Sherry, but good to have you here also. And let's see. Kathy, awesome. Caroline, nice to see you. Hey, I am at 3 Sevens right now. Caroline has been to this animal sanctuary before. I've met some of you in person. I can't wait to meet all of you in person. It's just one of those, it is something that I have on my own bucket list, is to be able to have a community that is not only online and is not just these live streams and these posts, but to have a community where we all feel comfortable meeting in person sometime, somewhere, somehow. Okay. Hello. Donna, good to see you. Who else do I have here? Z, hello. Okay. We are, and what did Sharon say? I bet that was fun. Brought Ozzy to work on Thursday. He did great and everybody loves him. Oh, that's fantastic. I love Bring Your Animal to Work Day. Enjoy the beautiful animals and scenery. Yes, Caroline. I have to tell you guys a couple things. There's so many things on my mind tonight, and I want to make sure that we get to them all. And I'm going to try to keep this as succinct as possible because I do have chores to do, and it's already dark here. But I want to share with you that I did get some sun today also. So I got myself outdoors. I spent the day outdoors with the animals. Here we have horses, goats, chickens, a hilarious mule. It's just absolutely the best place that I can think of to spend time outdoors in nature with animals. And it just does my heart good. It does my body good. I love getting sun and vitamin D into my body. But wow, it also, like, I'm tired now. It just makes you a little sleepy. I want to also share that I want to share a dream that I had, because part of what I'm going to share with you this evening is that I understand where your questions are coming from. I have asked almost every question that you guys have asked me tonight, and more. and even more. And I still ask questions. So I kind of want to share a little bit of my experience with you to let you know that I not only understand, I live it. I live it. Last night I had a dream. I had a nightmare last night. Haven't had a nightmare in a long time, and it was about Lucy. I will not give you the details. It was Lucy was still alive, and I was trapped in feet of snow, and I didn't know that she was under the snow. And I won't give you any more details than that. But I woke up in a panic, in a sweat, and it was not good. The dream was a nightmare. I'll leave it at that. It was a nightmare, and I woke up. And I had to get it out of my mind. I didn't even want to write about it. I normally journal about all this stuff. I didn't want to write about it. I didn't want to think about it. So know that I'm right there with you guys. When something hits you out of the blue, like what of all things, why would Lucy send me a dream that was so traumatic in nature? Because the outcome was not positive. And I woke up thinking that I wanted it to be one of those dreams that would just like float off. You know how like the good dreams that you want to remember, they seem to like wisp away. But the bad dreams don't. So I did some writing tonight. Once I felt a little bit more grounded and a little bit more centered after spending time with the animals here, I was able to ask the question. And I think I got an interesting answer that I'll share with you guys in just a little bit. And let's see, what else do we want? Who is not on here yet that I see? Hi, Jody. And hi, Jody. Hello, my pair of Jodies. The dream does mean I love her more than you could ever know. It means I loved her. And Lucy did have a peaceful crossing. Like you couldn't have asked for a more peaceful crossing than the one that Lucy had. So I'll just tell you what I got from her tonight. It was that she needed to show me what guilt felt like. I work with so many private clients who are deep, deep in guilt after an accidental death. And their guilt is so it's overwhelming to the point of being debilitating. And just like, so I could wake up out of the dream. I could wake up and say, not going there. But when it is something that you've lived in real life, you can't do that. And in my role as animal chaplain, and just this week, I went and visited with a local pet cemetery in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee area. And I think that's part of it too. When you work with people in the thick of it, I have to be able to understand. And I think that that's what Lucy was showing me. I think Lucy was showing me that there is someone who needs me to understand the absolute depth of the guilt so that if I can relate to that feeling, then I'm better able to help them through those feelings. And that's what I got. So I didn't get anything bad from it. I didn't get like, this is a premonition. I didn't get watch out for gypsy. I didn't get, it was all about showing me what that feeling must be like so that I could help others through it, which is part of what we're going to talk about tonight when everybody's talking about what their purpose is. That was a lot of your questions. A lot of your questions that came through tonight were, how do I know what my purpose is? And how do I know that my animal companion is telling me what my purpose is? I think that I have some answers for you. Okay, so was there anything else on my little list of preamble things? I think that was it. Oh, no. The person who I don't see on here yet is Hideous Sales. Is that? I think I can't remember if that's the person or not. It is. No, Magnificent Sales. Magnificent Sales. Where did I get the hideous thing from? Oh my God. Somebody help me now. Magnificent Sales. Lauren, if I'm not mistaken, pointed out a movie that I'd never heard of before. You guys, I watched the trailer as soon as she told me about this movie. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Hi, Jen. How are you? Hi, Fatima. Pet sitting. you got the, well, Jen has been down here too. Jen has also been to this animal sanctuary. Okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've never heard of the movie before, and I had to watch the trailer. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch it. I might have to stay up tonight just to watch it because I cannot wait to watch it. It's about the multiverse and all of the different lives available to us and how we make that connection and how, it looks really, really cool. I don't know too much more about the story. All I did was watch the trailer before the pressing the live button here, and it looks really cool. So thank you for sharing that movie. And once I see it, I'll know more, but I think some of the answers that we're going to talk about tonight address that same topic. Okay, so let's take these questions in order. And I'm just going to see, the only dream I ever had of my Maggie was a sad one. Donna, is it your questions I'm answering about Maggie tonight? Because Maggie is the one that I have written the very first time. You know, YouTube does this funny thing. It doesn't always show the right, like it'll put it was a bunch of numbers and initials, if I remember right. Okay, so Donna, we're going to start with Maggie's questions. But yeah, and here's what I would do when you do have a dream like that. I had to not do it right away. I had to wait, but sit down and ask, what is it meant to, what are you meant to show me? I just want to know what I should do with that. Sometimes it's just processing emotion, but I would ask the question. Okay, so let's see the questions. So Donna, slowly moving out of your comfort zone. That is awesome. Part of what prompted this for me, this set of questions, the reason that I put the call out for questions was because doing my own inner work, always looking, always when I feel sometimes like a nudge, like a little psychic nudge that I'm supposed to go this way or that way or do this or not do that. And I've been listening to an audio book by the author's name is Mel Robbins. I may have suggested this book to you before. It's called The Let Them Theory. It is so liberating. Even me, I have taken some leaps, quitting my corporate job and having my family go, what the did you just do? I've taken some brave leaps, but this really just helps you. If you're looking for something that will help you kind of kick that fear to the curb so that you can start taking some of your own big steps, some of your big girl steps and not the little baby steps, or just take little baby steps. That I really, really am enjoying this book, and I'm only just a part way through it. But it prompted me to create this. Like, if our animal companions, when they have crossed to the other side, they want us to live our best life. What does that mean? What does it mean to live our best life? How do we find our purpose? I don't know what my purpose is. You know, I have a very good friend. I have a very good friend who's got a wonderful family, wonderful life, financially very, very well off. And they say to me, sometimes I wake up and I just don't understand what my purpose is. And it doesn't matter where you are in your life. When you are ready for your purpose, you're going to ask that question. And when you ask that question, that's when it starts to unfold for you. It just starts to unfold itself without you doing anything. Synchronicities are going to present themselves. Real quick from the notes. Fatima, private reading, Chispa will tell you to let it go. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sharing that kind of stuff. That's the kind of support we're talking about. Not just the virtual hug, but the support of some things that you can actually do and that we've all been through. But anywho, I don't want to get too far off topic. Okay. So Donna, moving out of your comfort zone, and what the big question is, how do we get guidance on our purpose? And I'm just reading from my notes. So how do we get guidance on our purpose when we are searching for what that purpose actually is? So we're not even sure what that purpose is. How do we ask our animal companions for guidance? The first thing is just to ask. It all ties into the same thing. We have this fear that it's not real, this fear that we're making it up, this fear that our animal really does not, their soul does not exist on the other side. This fear that even if they are in heaven, how are they getting information to us? How are we supposed to know? And how do we know that it's them? I think that was the follow-up question. Oh, that might've been somebody else's. So how do we find our purpose? It takes a little bit of work. Part of the things that I'm going to share with you tonight are going to require that you do some of the work. Now, I don't want that. I don't even like the word work. Make it be play, make it be fun, make it be exciting. Somebody else asked the question about how do I find my excitement? Make it exciting to discover the thing that you were put here for. You would not be here without a purpose. There is nobody on the planet who is here without a purpose, who didn't come here with something intentional in mind and then set all of the things on stage to make the discovery possible so that you could uncover and discover what your purpose is. And your animal companion on the other side of life, we've talked about this many times, and I will keep on talking about it. The more I learn about it, the more I will share with you. This amazing quantum field of energy that is everything. There are so many videos out there. You can look at a seed pod. You can look at the pattern inside of an apple. You can look at a seashell. You can look at a leaf. You can look at the rings in a tree. You can look at your own cells. You can look at your eyeball. All of these things they're mirrors of each other. It's as if it's not as if it is the universe, this quantum field expressing itself in a million different ways. So when our animal companion or any soul that we are close to, human or animal, when they cross to the other side, they become part of this infinite field of intelligence, this infinite field of information. And that is probably the biggest step that you'll have to take is believing that it's real. I'm going to tell you how to get there, though. I'm going to tell you how I started. That believing that it's actually real and that it's not some lady on a YouTube video telling you that it's real. I want you to experience that it's real. When you believe that it's real, then you start to make the connections and it starts to work for you. It's always working for you, but now you have the ability to interact with this beautiful field through your animal companion. And why would it be your animal companion? Because our animal companions are trustworthy. We trust them implicitly. We believe in them implicitly. We love them unconditionally the way they loved us unconditionally. And that love is part of the fabric of this whole thing. So we reach out to our animals because sometimes we think, yeah, it'd be nice if I had a guardian angel, and you picture this little creature with wings and a halo. But our animal companions, we know them and they know us. And so we can believe in them and believe that they have the ability to help us access the information that flows to, through, and around us. And I will keep trying to give you more and more explanations about that the more that I learn. But here's how I want to get you to start believing. I started with a book. And gosh, when I think of all the different ways that I started, somebody turned me on to Abraham Hicks. They said, you must listen to the woman named Esther Hicks who channels guides called Abraham. And they're known as Abraham Hicks. I started listening to Abraham Hicks, and I'll be quite frank, I thought that it was nuts. I thought it was a sweet message, interesting message. Wow, that's really out there. But I thought it was totally nuts. But something made me keep listening. So that's the first thing. When you find something that starts to resonate, you keep on listening. And then I found this book, and I don't even remember how I found the book. The woman's name is Pam Grout, Grout, Pam Grout. And I actually had a chance to meet her. I had a glass of wine with her. She wrote a book called E Squared. And E Squared is like 10, I want to say it's 10 simple experiments to test the universe. And by universe, I mean source, God, Allah, Buddha, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it. It's 10 or 12 simple experiments to test this connection that you have to this field and to make it work in your favor. I'll give you one example. One of them is to look for green cars. I didn't want to look for green cars, so I chose bright yellow. And every time you go out, you're supposed to log, you're supposed to track. I tracked everything in a little journal. Track when you see a bunch of yellow cars. So I'm seeing a yellow car, but then I'm seeing a school bus, and then another school bus, and then another school bus. And I said, well, this is dumb because school buses they're all going to be yellow. So I said out loud to the universe, all right, if this is real, would you please just stop with the school buses and show me some yellow cars? Like, where's the yellow Maserati? And as I turned the corner, I was in my car, I turned the corner, and there was a parking lot full of yellow school buses. And I just had to laugh because I thought to myself, what if God has this hilarious sense of humor and was just playing with me? And then as soon as I saw those school buses, I started seeing yellow cars everywhere, yellow everything. So it's almost like I want you to make it a game. So this book, Pam Grout, E Squared, I do recommend if you want to start little baby steps. She teaches you how to she doesn't call them angel numbers. She teaches you how to see the patterns, how to use your reticular activating system, how to start bringing in all the synchronicities, because once you start bringing them in, then you start believing. And your animal companion is right there next to you helping, right there next to you, lining things up so that you see the things that you're meant to see, do the things that you're meant to do. Okay, so that is how do we ask them for guidance? You just ask. You ask, and you know what I like to do. I will leave it up to you, but I love to write it all down. I've got books and books and books, just plain old copybooks, where I write these things down. And when you start to track them, then the synchronicities become more apparent. You'll look back and look at last week and go, oh my gosh, I saw an angel number every single day, every single day. And it'll start to help you believe. And it will show you what your purpose is. You've got an inkling. There's something in there about your purpose. There's some little inkling. And I'll do this one more. I've shared this as well. Be open to the possibility of it being anything. Never in my wildest dreams did I say to myself ever in any journaling exercise, in any diary from my 16-year-old self, in anything, did I ever write down that I would be creating videos and I would be doing live video once a week, helping people to understand not only how to work through the grief of losing an animal companion, but how to tap into the power of the universe and use their natural, supernatural, super normal abilities. Never crossed my mind. But once you open the door, things start to change. And that leads me into my next question. And I'm just going to kind of take these out of order for a little bit. The next question that feeds right into is from, I didn't write it down. It's somewhere here. You guys know how I am with my notes. I just scroll all over the place. Was, how do I know that it's my animal who is coming through to me and not some other spirit guide? It seems to me that there are lots of people these days. This was the question. It seems to me lots of people these days are talking about angels and spirit guides. How do I know it's my animal companion? It's all the same. I want to share with you that this is magnificent. Our ability to connect with souls that are in this field is beyond the words that I have to describe it. My sister is all about angels. She loves angels. Everything has to do. She loves angels. She's got statues of angels, pictures of angels. Everything's angels. So for her, when she prays, and prayer is a form of reaching out to this infinite field. It's an exchange of information. It's saying, this is why I think I'm here. Show me. Or I don't know why I'm here. Show me. For her, it would be angels. For me, it's going to be Lucy. It's going to be animals. It's going to be animals of all kind. I know that it's going to be animals. And every once in a while, I hope that it's going to be an alien. So how do you know if it's your ancestor, your alien, an angel? Because none of them are going to trick you. When you ask your animal companion to come through to you with information, it will be your animal companion because that's what you have asked. It will be an angel because that's what you've asked for. It will be an ancestor or a deceased relative because that's who you have asked. And your connection, how do I describe this? Your connection is like multiple strings here. So you've got soul connections all over, like a beautiful web, and you are the spider, and you've plucked the web, and you know exactly where you plucked that web, and that is where your answer is going to come from. So there are times when I speak to my father. There are times when I speak to my grandmother. There are times when I speak to a mentor that I had when I was a young girl. There are times when I speak to Lucy. There are times when I speak to Jake. Whoever I ask to connect for in my beautiful prayer, I love the word prayer now. I'm really liking this word. In my beautiful prayer, asking for guidance, I know that whoever it is that I'm asking comes through. And every once in a while, somebody different comes through. Like every once in a while, it could be a different animal that all of a sudden shows up for me. And I just go with it. I go with it because I trust that I'm directly connected to them. And here's the thing. People will say to me, what if what you're doing connects you to like a dark entity? It doesn't. And you want to know why? Because I always come from a place of love. I fill my souls with my souls. Maybe I have multiple souls when we start talking about the multiverse. I fill my cells with love. I often will touch my heart. I'll place my hand here. Sometimes I do this, like my old Girl Scout thing. On my honor, I will try. I just send the love, receive the love. Everything is in love, and love it beats everything. Love conquers everything. There is nothing greater than that. And the greatest of these is love. That's absolutely true. and you won't even be at the same vibrational level. We're going to talk about vibration in a second when I answer the exciting question, the question about excitement. That energy is so far below and so dense and so dark that it can't see your light. It cannot see the beautiful light that you've got shining. So, and our animal companions are shining even brighter. So bring it on in with the animal companions. Sometimes I don't know where all this comes from. I trust that it's them. Okay, why do signs come less frequently over time? Less frequently over time, or sometimes somebody else asked this question also. I tried to get as many as I could. Somebody else asked the question, is he still around even if I'm not getting signs anymore? I used to get signs in the early on, and now I don't. And you guys all, I have my Lucy shirt with me tonight. Of course, I left it in the other room. You guys know that that's happened to me with Lucy. All of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, it's been days since I really feel like I've had a sign from Lucy. And then all of a sudden it'll show up so bright. So why do signs seem to come less frequently? It's just because we have gotten used to it. They're still there. Our animal companions will send us a sign at the drop of a dime. Sometimes it is the drop of a dime that is their sign. Our animal companions will send us signs whenever we ask. That's all you need to do is ask. You can just say, oh, I've been such a slacker. I keep forgetting every night that I should be talking to you before I go to sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, I forget to write down the first thought that pops into my mind. And you're over there tapping, our animals were over there tapping their foot impatiently, like, I sent you messages all night long. All you had to do is write them down. So I will give you two examples. One is Logan, Pat's Logan, and the other is Kuda. Kuda's Human changed their handle on YouTube to Somewhere in the Rockies. Don't see Somewhere in the Rockies on here yet, too. God has an absolute sense of humor, 100%. Oh, wait, it's Magnificent Sales. Hello. Now I got myself distracted. Oh, Kuda and Logan. Kuda and Logan's human companions make a point. They make it a point every single day, they settle for nothing less than to be able to connect with their animal companion on the other side. And that's part of what it takes. But it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong if you get caught up in life and it's been a couple days and you're like, oh, wow, I just realized now that I haven't been connecting as much as I have in the past. It's okay. Just pick up where you left off. You pick up where you left off. It is totally okay. It's totally okay. Our animal companions don't disappear. They don't get impatient. And by impatient, they get impatient with us for not seeing things, but they don't get impatient where they're going to say, sorry, she blew it. I'm out of here. They're your animal companion and you are their human companion. You are connected always, always, always. So you just ask, and then keep your eyes open. You got to watch. It's easy to get caught up in the routine of the day. You have to watch and be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for, use all of your senses, listening, seeing, catching things, catching patterns, catching numbers, whatever it might be. And then you'll catch yourself. You'll go, oh, I remember. I just did see that yesterday. So they have not gone anywhere and you can still connect with them. Why am I so attuned to, this one was interesting. This was Spunky's human. And I'm sorry, I don't know who Spunky's human is and if they're on here. There's Pacino on the other side. Your hair looks so pretty down. Thank you. I know. You can tell what, like putting my hair up is like the equivalent of a ball cap. That's all I got to say about that. Lazy. Why am I so attuned to animal suffering now that my Spunky has passed? That is such a profound question. The question, and this is coming straight, the answer is coming straight from Spunky. The answer is because now you are, it's just like my dream about Lucy, the dream that gave me empathy. You have I call it animal empathy. And I do feel it strongly. I am one of these people who could not watch all the soppy commercials with Sarah McLachlan singing her sad song and showing you every caged dog and their mistreatment and their mishandling. I mean, literally, go ahead and rip my heart out. And it's animal empathy. So I have learned to flip that on its head. And I now choose to look at everything with compassion. And this came from my work and my continued work with animals who are in rescue. Animals who are in rescue. And I've worked with some horses who have been abused, but primarily this is now with like local rescue. So it's mostly dogs and cats. I will go to an animal rescue and I will just sit with them. And instead of letting my heart be broken and thinking of all the horrible things that might have happened to them and the people who abuse animals and I mean, my gypsy was abused. The people who abuse animals, you want to say, well, I want to see them strung up. I'll abuse them the way that they abused my dog or my cat or whatever it might be. Flip it to compassion. Start showing compassion. And when I go to these animal sanctuaries or animal rescues, shelters, that's the word I'm looking for, I sit and I just think positive thoughts, not fake positive thoughts, but I think thoughts like, we together, I'm just going to send out so much love that we together, we're going to forget anything that ever happened to you that was bad. And instead, we're going to focus on your forever home. Oh my gosh, there is a forever family just waiting for you. Won't it be so amazing? Won't it be so special? You're going to get this. You'll have this. There'll be a little boy. You'll have pieces of chicken, whatever comes into my mind. And that's all I focus on. And that helps relieve that suffering. The same thing with when the animals are hurt by natural disasters, also something that could literally make you crazy if you're an animal empath. The thought of an animal suffering. The example is the fire that was in Colorado 2 years ago, I think it's been now, took out a whole section of Boulder, Colorado. And there's someone who posted a picture on social media of a burned cat. And the cat was still alive, but the cat was significantly, it was not, nobody should have posted that picture. And for those of us who are empaths, it would be enough to make you lose your mind. You just couldn't stand the thought of that animal suffering. You help one animal, you help them all. Focus on the animal you can help. I could not help that cat, but I can help my neighbor's cat. I can just let my neighbor's cat know that they are so loved. And this is the way that Reiki works and this whole unified field works. There's no space. There's no such thing as time and space. And when I share love with one animal, it goes out there into the field and that love is shared with any single animal who needs it. So that's what I would suggest. Take a Reiki class. Because it will teach you how to focus on compassion versus that pain and not so much empathy as compassion. I see comments scrolling by, but I'm afraid of what I would do to a person who is abusing an animal. Yeah, I do. I understand. But what I would suggest is not turning the other cheek, but just turning it on its head. The anger, those are all denser energies. Those will pull you down. And our animal companions are up here. So we want to focus on things like compassion. I cannot ever say that I would love or hug or somebody who was an animal abuser or any kind of abuser. But can I hold them in a space of compassion? Can I hold that animal in a space of compassion? Can I pray out to the universe that all of those things that animal does not suffer anymore? Yes, I can. Okay, next question. From Pat. Oh yeah, this is from Pat. Pat, you have some great questions. Do our fur babies direct us to ask these questions? You know the answer to that question. And it comes straight from Logan. Logan has gone, yes. Yes. Our fur babies, they place things in our mind. I call it downloads. When all of a sudden I didn't have a question and then I do have a question, or I didn't have a thought 1 minute and then I have a thought this minute. That's why I write it all down, because I don't trust myself to remember these things. Those downloads, those spiritual downloads, that is how information comes from this unified field, this field of intelligence that you can call it anything. I know that we kind of get wrapped up in the label, but this field of intelligence that surrounds us, it is information give and take. And our animal companions are able to pull information from that field and plant it in our brain. There is no section of your brain that has a label on it that says, here's where the thoughts get cranked out, and out comes the thought. It doesn't happen that way. The thoughts are from here. The thoughts come into your mind, and then we verbalize them, or we put them to words. Or that's one beautiful thing about being human, is that we are able to express the thoughts that come into our mind. And that's how we do it. Now, I choose to write them all down. But that's how those questions and the things that you are feeling called to do, even your purpose, it comes from our animal companions giving us that information. They take that information, and then you can give feedback. This is a two-way thing. This is not a sit and pray and beg for something good to happen. This is a ask the question, say what your intention is, speak the intention, speak the words out loud. I often will speak. Well, I like to talk. I often speak things out loud, and call it in. Call it in. Your thoughts. Those thoughts will come to you, and then you track them. Is Logan directing me? And yes, because we trust them. That's the other reason why that they want to help us. Are they really active participants? 100%. I know you know the answer to this question, Pat, because you get information from Logan all the time. Yes, they are active participants. What did I write here? I wrote myself some notes in the corner. It says, do good. Some ways that we can actually figure out our purpose and enhance or encourage our connection with animals on the other side. Do good. Like if there's any way that you can help somebody else, even some little thing, even a kind word, a smile, you never know who your smile is going to impact. I wrote, do good, be kind, trust your instinct, trust your gut. Like when you've got that little sense of knowing, I mean, how many times have I know I've done it. You get this little sense of knowing and you go off and do something different anyway. And that's, I wrote these down because of E squared. I don't live a charmed life, guys. Yes, I do. We all do. I don't necessarily live the charmed life. We all can have a charmed life when we start to open the door and practice the things that will help us to be charmed. So that E squared book, when I got to have a glass of wine with the author, that is, there was no, I signed up for a workshop, and there she was standing next to me at the little bar, and we had a glass of wine together and had a conversation. And then she started following me on social media. And $1 million Amazon, not even Amazon, New York Times bestselling author, starts following little old me on Facebook. So the synchronicities and the magic happen when you open the door. Okay, keep track of the time, Elaine. Okay. How do we know it's our animal companion? Okay, I already asked that question. People are talking about angels and spirit guides and deceased loved ones. That's the other thing that I want to say about that is this whole thing. You guys, anybody who's following this channel at all knows that I believe that our whole world is shifting. Human consciousness, global consciousness, universal consciousness, whether it's animals, plants, people, the planet, the universe. The whole thing is going through a shift right now. It began probably like 10 years ago at least, and it's continuing strong. This is the time right now. If you are feeling any of these things, now's the time to say yes to yourself, because this awakening, an overused kind of term in the spiritual world, but it's happening. It's happening, and you're part of it. So you can talk to, I'll just say this too. It can be anything. You have the ability to communicate with anything, any animal, any angel, any ancestor, any alien, anything. As long as it begins with an A, animal, ancestor, alien. No, it's not true. But there, if you want to communicate with a unicorn, if you would like to connect with a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it does not matter. Whatever you picture in your mind, you are connected to in the field, and you can pull that into you and receive information. So you have more power than you can possibly imagine. We give our power away, literally, or we ignore it. We disregard it. We are culturally trained to think that we don't have super normal powers when we certainly do. And every single one of you has these powers. I wanted to talk a little bit about purpose, but I'll come back. Maybe that would be even depending on how the rest of this goes, a topic for another time. I want to share with you how I got to where I am now, the little journey, because the questions that came up were about my purpose. How do I, magnificent sales. Here is the question. How do I jump to my optimal timeline? So we are wanting to step out of where we are, and we want something different in our life. It's the same as asking what my purpose is. How do I get that? I don't like where I am. I feel stuck. I feel like there's more, like there's something more. What is that more? I get the question. I've asked it 100 times, And then how do you jump to your optimal timeline? I'm going to give you one more resource. It's a YouTube channel. Her name is Dr. Jessica. Gosh, Dr. Jessica. Why can't I remember her last name? Her YouTube channel is called Your Universe. And I think she spells universe Y-O-U. Your Universe. I will put a link in the comments when we're done here. She has great guided visualizations, guided meditations. So you put your headphones on. You have to be in a place where you can sit down for a good 45 minutes. You put your headphones on and she helps you journey, or she will say the words, speak the words that help you shift where you are physically on this planet. I've shown you this, guys. I've shown you this many times before. My version of timelines and our lives. It requires a belief. And if you don't want to believe, you don't have to believe. You can believe anything you want. You can believe anything you want. As I crinkle up this paper, probably making a lot of noise. This is what our life is. And this is what timelines are. And they're like this. And we can step into anything. We can step into anything we want. I usually, at home, I have a little needle and thread. And you can step into any place that you choose to. And what I think it's Lauren, right? Magnificent Sales. Suzanne Giesman, she's the one who I trained with for my mediumship stuff. Suzanne Giesman I will highly, highly, highly recommend also for being able to get evidence that who you're connecting with is the soul that you're connecting with. She doesn't do animals too often. She has tried to do animals. That it's really not her jam, but it's mine. So when I trained with her, I took a couple of her courses. When I trained with her, I focused on animals while she was teaching it mainly for people, but it doesn't matter. So that's another name I would highly recommend. So Dr. Jessica, can't remember her last name, Your Universe will take you on guided meditations to help shift your timeline. So and I would say you're not going to jump. There's a lot of talk about in the spiritual community and the metaphysics, as you look at different videos, about jumping your timeline or quantum jumping. And even the Your Universe thing talks about quantum jumping into the life that you really want. I consider it more of pulling it in. So if I'm here in the physical, I'm 3D. This is me. I am me. I'm in this place. I'm in this space. How do I draw from the field of infinite intelligence the life that I'm actually looking for? And I found that it works best for me with meditation, which is why I like Your Universe. If you'll have to go back to her. I started listening to her probably 10 years ago, maybe not quite that long, possibly close to that long, when she first started her own journey and where she was in not a good place, and not a good place at all. And oh my gosh, how far she has come, how far she has helped me with her meditation. So that's why I like that. And Suzanne Giesman, if you ever do want to talk about evidential mediumship and being able to trust that you're the soul that you're connecting with is your soul animal or soul person, she's the one. Okay. How do I jump my timeline? I think I answered that question. Was Cheesy my great-grandfather? I will just share this little, there's only one answer to that question. The answer is yes. If you ask the question, you already know the answer. You already know the answer that yes, Cheesy was your great-grandfather. And because when we cross to the other side, we can do, be, or have anything that we want. I've said a million times, I know that when I cross over, I'm not doing anything until I come back as a hawk. I want to fly, soar. I want to be so high in the sky. I want to come down and swoop on Jody's head. And then I don't care if it lasts for just a minute. It's okay. That's what I choose to do. And your animal companions can do the same thing. I also look forward to when it is my time to go back into non-physical, to being able to help on a whole different level. To be able, if I choose to come back as a dog or a cat, I don't know if I will, but I could. So the answer to that is yes. How do I raise my excitement to be more passionate about the things that will benefit my life and have some form of direction? I'm not 100% sure what that question means. If you're talking about how do I do things that I know will benefit my life, like stick it out in a job that I hate because it pays me enough money, I'm trying to think of different examples. I don't know that I can guide you how to be excited about things that don't light you up. I would rather say find the things that light you up and pursue those, and then the rest of it falls into place. So find the things that light you up, find the things that raise your vibration, like me right here. I'm going to have to do some videos for you guys tomorrow. I'll do some shorts. Being in the presence of horses is so healing and so life-giving. Horse energy for me is unbelievable. And when I sit in the horse energy, things happen, just magic happens. So find the thing that lights you up. Is it running? Is it sailboating? Is it art? Is it singing? I don't know. I don't know what your, like, the thing is that you really enjoy doing. Do that. And then the other things fall into place. They'll just naturally fall into place. And Mike Dooley is the other one who I would listen to. Mike Dooley will say, you just throw the softball. So just do the one little bitty thing, throw the softball, let the universe hit the home run. You don't have to worry about all the things that need to fall into place. You can't even begin to think of all the things that need to line up. Yeah, like for me to meet that author standing at a bar, having a glass of wine, I couldn't have cooked it up if I wanted to. So there are things will start to fall into place when you follow your joy, when you follow your bliss. Time. Oh gosh, I've got animals out there waiting for me. So let's hurry up. Okay. That did I answer all the questions? I guess I did, but I'm going to look and see if there's any more questions. Listening to Zan, since you mentioned her in Gary's reading. Yeah. I constantly see 222 everywhere, but I don't understand the reason for it. All right. Let me tell you about the number 222. If you go to Pam Grout's website, you will see that she has a 222 foundation. And 222 is a number, and I'm sure it means many other things. And I videos about angel numbers, and I did 222. I don't even remember off the top of my head. Irrelevant. 222, Pam's daughter crossed to the other side unexpectedly. And she started something called the two, and for every time she would think of her daughter, 222 popped up, 222, 222, 222. So she created the 222 foundation. So it can mean anything, but those numbers are important. It's not because, 444 means that I better go out and do X, Y, or Z. It just means I'm calling your attention, just like the ringing in the ear. I called an attention getter. When I start to see those numbers, like I saw the license plate that said Pleiades on it. Who in Wisconsin, where the spiritual community is just starting to wake up. It said Pleiades on the license plate. I wanted to follow the guy home. I wanted to find out who he was so that that he would put that light on his license plate. So those numbers are attention getters. Whether you see 1111, 222, whether the lights are flickering, whether there is, you see something else on a license plate, those are meant to get your attention. You hear that ringing in your ear. When I hear that ringing, let's say I'm driving and I get that high-pitched ring. It usually happens in this ear. I get a high-pitched ring. I have accepted that it is a message coming through from an angel. For me, I say it's an angel. And I'm like, okay, angels. All right, I'm driving. So go ahead, download it. Let it be there. I'm just going to go about my day. I've got to go about my day. But when I get home tonight, I'm going to open my journal and I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to write down the things that come into my mind. So just make sure that it's planted in there. So that's the numbers. Do our current animals know when our animal companions on the others? Oh, wait, Pat had another question too. Don't let me forget, Pat, about the friends. Do our animals make friends on the other side? Do our current animals know when our animal companions on the other side are communicating? Is it conscious to them or more subtle like it is to us? Yes. Animals are more connected than we are. Animals, because they don't get stuck in their head. They don't question it. They don't doubt it. They don't worry about what other animals are thinking of them for wondering whether or not they can see their animal companions on the other side. So when you see, often you'll see an animal looking off in the corner, staring at something, or they all of a sudden jump up right away. They're and I can't remember whose doggy the cat swats. But the dog jumps up as if the cat has just swatted him. So they are very, very aware of our animal companions on the other side. But they also don't, they don't need, like, we want to, like, we're like, oh, can I see a sign? I can't wait for a sign. Animals are like, okay, there's another one, and there's another one, and okay, enough already. I mean, our animal companions, it's not anything unusual to them. It's normal. It's very normal for them. So Pat's question was, do our animals make new friends on the other side? So if an animal companion crosses to the other side, do they have like the tribe that has always been your animal companions, or are there new buddies that they're making friends and hanging out with? They can do whatever they want. They absolutely can make new friends, just like we can. There are probably souls on the other side of life that we're connected to that we're unaware of right now. I am sure that there are people and animals who have yet to come into my life who are part of my soul tribe. And maybe when I cross to the other side, I'll be saying, wait a minute, how come you didn't come around this time? And then next time we'll be together. There are no limits and there are no rules. There are no rules. Don't let anybody tell you there's rules. That's also a thing in the spiritual community. They'll say there are 12 dimensions and you've got to make your way through the karma to get up to the 12th dimension. And the souls on the other side are going, oh, can you humans make it any more complicated? It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very easy, very easy. When you just start to accept it, it becomes so easy. Okay. Got the ringing a few weeks ago, said it was potato calling. Oh, potato, by the way, I am going to start doing that, guys. I have a hard time keeping my own thoughts organized sometimes. And I want to start doing these little mini readings for each of your animal companions. And that will include potato. I want to do, they're not just little 30-second things. I want to do it, just a couple minutes to show you how connected you still are. And more than that, I want you guys to be able to do this. I want you to go follow Suzanne Giesemann so that you can understand how much you are connected to animal companions. And I'll just mention real quick about Suzanne Giesemann, and then I'm going to have to wrap this up, that she was a commander in the Navy. One of the armed forces. She was a commander. And it was only when a family member of hers, and I won't go too deep into the story, a family member of hers was unexpectedly killed in a tragic way. You'll have to listen to her story the way that she tells it. It was only then that she realized that she was connected. And to go from being, if I was 35 years in corporate, can you imagine 35 years in the military? And then to leave that to become a medium. It's amazing. It's an amazing story. And she's a super down-to-earth person. So that would be something. Let's see. Why can I reach other animals way better than my own? Sherry, I'm not 100% sure of that answer because sometimes I feel the same thing. Like I feel like I could instantly reach out to almost any animal companion. There's Nala recently here. A horse was helped to the other side, and I can feel Nala so strong. I can feel Nala so strongly here. And then when I sometimes when I want to reach out to Winston, it's not nearly as strong. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to dwell on that a little bit. Why sometimes I can reach out to all of your animal companions a little bit easier than I can my own. But I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. But anyway, I'm going to think on that some more. I don't have an answer for you. And I don't mind saying that either. That's another thing, guys. I don't mind sharing when I don't know the answer because I know that it'll come to me. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I've got some chores to do. It's easier on our heart. Yeah, that could definitely be a reason, Kali, that it's easier on our heart. There's not as much expectation tied to it. Like to know how wonderful it is. And that Lucy I can connect with all the time, but to know how wonderful it is to connect with Jack, who told me that he was an old soul and he wanted to go back into the universal consciousness and he wanted to go back into the, Abraham Hicks calls it the cosmic soup. He wanted to go back into that beautiful soup of souls and he was done reincarnating. And that makes me sad. So does that make it harder to connect with him? Possibly. Yeah. Than an animal who I don't have that deep attachment to. Yes, the Navy. Okay, good. When Smokey passed, swatted my current friend. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, cats. Cats are the ones they don't hold back when they get to the other side. Okay, my friends, Fresca. Hi Mel. Oh, I love that with the clouds. Oh my gosh, clouds are an easy energy for our animal companions to show up in. Look to the clouds. Look to the clouds. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go take care of some horses. I love you guys so much. I hope I hit all your questions. If I didn't, you know where to find me every Monday night. And boy, it's 8 o'clock here. Oh, now it's 9 o'clock, and I am so tired. I do want to share with you, and for anybody who's interested, this was the last little piece, was how do you find your purpose? And if you do know your purpose, how do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? And it's more than just pulling in the timeline. I want to share with you the steps that I took so that you can understand. And because for me, it's all about animals, but I want to be able to help those who want the same experience, who want to be able to be free to live the life that they want to live. And our social construct does not make that easy to do. And I want you to know that where I started out at, and it was not I mean, this was not some magic pill. I had to do some of the work, but anyhow, all right, maybe that'll be for a video for another time. You are so welcome, guys. It is good to see you all. Love you guys all so much. And until next Monday, may animals light your way. Take care, guys. Bye.